John Airy here with AintItCool.com and ArticulationTimes.com with an action figure review for you today of Ken versus Blanka. This is from Jazwares' 4-inch Street Fighter line of action figures. Let's open them up. Hold up. Before we open these bad boys up, I just want to show you one thing. I got these at Toys R Us, and probably, I don't know, 8 out of the 10 2-packs that were on the pegs at Toys R Us had the same problem, and that problem is missing hands. Yes, you see Blanka here is missing one of his hands. It's in the pack, don't worry. If you turn that upside down, it hits him in the face. I'm a little worried that's going to be indicative of the quality of the construction of these figures, but I guess we'll just have to find out. Okay, so we got Blanka and Ken out of their packaging. First thoughts. They're not bad figures. Actually, they have some really nice things going for them, but the quality is a bit of a distraction. For instance, when I pulled Blanka here out of his package, the other hand came off. So pulling him out of the package, he had 2 unattached hands just floating around. Oh, the horror, the humanity. First, let's take a closer look here at Blanka. And I don't know, I really like this figure just because it really nails his likeness. It nails the color palette from the original game, Street Fighter 2, I mean. And they really just have his character down. He's well sculpted. He has some nice sculpting here with some veins popping out of his pecs. They got his little tufts of hair. It's all pretty well painted. I'm not seeing a lot of paint blemishes on the figure. His shorts with the cut-off seams here look nice. Some chains here on the ankle. Overall, a well-sculpted figure. The plastic feels a little cheap holding him in my hand. And some of the joints here are pretty tight. Like, for instance, this shoulder joint here, it really starts to make some noise if you try taking it too far above that point, which isn't very high. And again, the plastic on it feels a little cheap, so I'm really worried about breaking that specific joint on him, which is, again, a bit of a deterrent from handling him too much. But otherwise, I really like what they've done with the figure here. The articulation is good. He has a little bit of a ball and joint on his head, but the head has some limited movement due to the giant hairdo here. Doesn't really move around too much, but you got a little bit of swivel there. The shoulder has a ball and socket with a hinge. This shoulder seems to move up and down much easier than this one for some reason. Then we have the hinge with a nice rotation ball and socket there on the elbow. The hands will rotate around. And they are swappable. We'll show you the swappable hands here in a moment. We have a nice ball and socket here on the upper torso, which works out really well. Nothing in the waist. We have a ball and socket with a hinge on the where the leg meets the pelvis. Ball and socket with a hinge on the knee, which is great. And then a ball and socket with a hinge on the feet, but they don't move up and down very much. You'll get a really nice swivel out of them though. So you can get this guy in a lot of different poses, which is great. And when you pop on and pop off the hands, that's kind of a cool feature. So overall, I just wish they made this guy out of better plastic and he didn't feel as flimsy. Otherwise, he's a really, really great 4-inch figure and one that looks kind of cool and be kind of fun to play with. Then we also have Ken here, and reason I picked up the 2-pack, Ken, that's my boy right there. Whenever I play Street Fighter, I always go for Ken. I don't know why. Just comfortable with this button scheme, I guess. But he looks really good here. Same sorts of articulation throughout the body, although his shoulder joints seem to work much, much better. Also, his head has a better swivel because he doesn't have that giant flock of hair to deter movement. We got Ken here with a little bit of a shorter cut than what he might appear in some of the games as. We have that upper body ball and socket here on that articulation, which is good. So you can really get this guy in a bunch of poses. He also has the, I don't know, what I call the Van Damme pose down. So really good articulation there with the splits. You can't move the legs too far forward. And actually, we had this same problem back with Jazwares Mortal Kombat Scorpion figure when we reviewed that, where you couldn't really move the legs forward very much, which is kind of lame if you're wanting Ken to do a bunch of kicks and stuff. Also, the sculpting on the chest is just really kind of awkward. I don't know. It's like we have these giant man boobs here and this weird like ridge in the middle. I don't know, it's just really oddly sculpted and just looks kind of strange on the figure. But otherwise, not a bad figure. He also suffers from that cheap plastic problem that Blanka does. So that's a bit of a bummer. I just, man, Jazwares, just if you could step it up with a little bit nicer plastic, I'd pay $1 or $2 more for the figures. If that's feasible, please let me know. I really like Ken's swappable hand here. The hands are on pegs and they just pop on and off. Let's get this one off. Ooh. And he only comes with one swappable hand, and that is his patented thumbs up. Yeah, looks good. Looks really good. Then Blanka here, he has a fist that you can swap in and out with. We'll put one of those fists on here, and he is ready to punch somebody bad. So overall, Jazwares 4-inch Street Fighter, Ken and Blanka. Blanka, really nice details, great paint scheme, looks awesome. Same with Ken. Just give us better plastic, please, and a little bit better articulation in a couple places. And also, man, if you can keep those hands on the figures until unboxing, that would be great. Otherwise, these look really cheap in the packaging, and I could see a lot of collectors being deterred by the hands falling on and off in the package. But those are just my thoughts. You can give me yours. You can send your comments to contact@articulationtimes.com. That's the email address. Or leave me a message on the YouTube channel, Facebook account, Twitter, wherever you like. For Articulation Times, I'm John Airy. Keep collecting.